Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode 152, and today we are going to be talking about the must-need apps that you need to get on your smartphones in the USA. Whether you live there, you're going to visit, or you're a techie and you just want to know what the Americans like to use on their phones, today you are going to find out. That is for sure. And you know what? If you're listening to this and you don't have a smartphone, what are you doing? Get yourself a smartphone. Join us in the 21st century. I'm just saying, if my dad has a smartphone, you probably need one. If you can't afford one, reach out to our Untranslatable crowdfunding campaign for you to get all of these smartphones that you need so you can get all the apps that I use in China, all the apps that Jared uses in the United States, and frankly, just all the apps available to you. Just make sure you got them gigabytes, baby. But anyways, my man who's definitely got the gigabytes, I'm here with my good buddy Jared, and I'm excited to hear which apps he's going to recommend for all of us today. What's going on, Jared?
Hello, I'm here with my fiber optic internet talking to you on my iPhone.
Coming in fast and hot.
On my iPhone 8 Plus with unlimited data, but obviously I'm inside, so I'm connected to that super fast Wi-Fi. And you need to follow us, please. You don't need to. Spread a little love.
Yeah, you do. Yes, they do. Jared. They need to.
We would like it. It would make us very... Actually, forget... What would really make me happy? Forget the following. I mean, do it. Untranslatable
Spread a little love.
Untranslatable one on Twitter. Is the 5-star review.
Where's Yost?
No, that is true. Really where... That's really what I want. On iTunes and Stitcher specifically. That really makes me happy. And, I don't have much going for me these days. Although I am on vacation now. That's very nice. Sorry, you got me all hyped by your intro, and I don't even know what to say anymore.
Good, that's my plan. I'm looking forward to more intros coming that way. Well, Jared, you mentioned you are on vacation. Can you? We're breaking the third wall here, especially because we've been on a podcast recording marathon the last few days.
Yeah,
doing it for all of our lovely listeners out there. But tell us, Jared, what are you actually on vacation for?
For Thanksgiving. At this point, I feel like I should say Christmas. Who knows? I'm
right. No kidding.
Yeah. It was delicious. It was good to see you, Mom and Dad. Oh, family, Grandma, Grandpa, the cousins. Oh, it's so lovely.
Everybody.
Turkey for the 27th time in a row. How original.
What did you tell me though? We did a Thanksgiving episode last year. There was that one side or that one dish that you said is way better than turkey. I don't remember what it was now.
There are a bunch. There's more than one. What are you talking about?
Or maybe you just said it was about the sides.
I just said the sides. True. I just said sides in general are way better than turkey. No one gets excited about. Honestly, listen. My dad's a great cook, and he does most of the important parts of Thanksgiving, and he does a good job with it. I don't get excited for anything about Thanksgiving anymore.
Really?
I mean, food-wise.
Okay.
Maybe some of the desserts. Like, I don't get red velvet cake or, German chocolate cake that often. And my mom makes a very good German chocolate cake, and my cousin makes a very good red velvet cake. So that I like. But, yeah, I have a piece of it. All right. I'm not over here. I'm not going to town on it. This figure doesn't happen on its own. Careful allotments of pasta and French fries. So it's just I don't really get excited for the food that much anymore. Even though there are aspects of the meal that I do like, it's just I don't know. I have a more sophisticated palate.
all I can say to you, Jared, is tread lightly, my man. This will be my second year outside of the United States for Thanksgiving, and there is nothing I would give more.
Well, that's true.
Than a home-cooked Thanksgiving meal.
But I get American food every day,
That is true. That is true.
Well, I did not go home for Thanksgiving last year, so maybe I should be a little bit more appreciative,
How did it feel not going home last year for Thanksgiving?
I'm not going to lie, it was kind of a relief. It was...
And why is that?
Not having to go to the airport, not having to get on an airplane, not having to... update everyone on my life all the time, saying kind of this, I don't know, it's just, it is...
Same stuff every year, yeah.
It is sometimes kind of exhausting being around a bunch of family all the time. It's just nice to be able to be in my own home if I'm gonna, But since I didn't go last year, I am a little bit more excited to go this year. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want to spread a little love?
Of course I do. Let's have you get us started, Jared, because I heard from a little birdie that you have a shout out for us today.
We have a mole in the system.
The untranslatable canary. Good friends with the untranslatable owl. Although that's not true. An owl would eat a canary for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. They probably would. The cost of Luxembourg's free public transportation plan. Have you heard about this? Luxembourg is planning, I believe, next year to make their transportation. Oh, on March 1st, their transportation system will be free.
I wonder how that works. On March 2nd?
I've been to Luxembourg before. I've stayed in someone's house in Luxembourg, and I played soccer in Luxembourg. When I was in Germany, I played the International School of Luxembourg hosted a soccer tournament, and so I have been to Luxembourg before. I couldn't tell you a thing about it. You really blink and you're in it or out of it. It's like Delaware. Right. I used to live in Philadelphia. Yeah. And Delaware was like, I don't even know how far away it was, to be honest with you. But usually I'd realize I was in Delaware when I'd see a sign would be like, you are now exiting.
You're not leaving Delaware.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I was in Delaware? That's kind of like Luxembourg. But, yeah, no, I have been to Luxembourg, but I didn't take public transportation. Although, yeah, you can drive across Luxembourg in about 2 hours, by the way, fun fact. But anyway, yeah, they're as of March 1st, their public transportation will be free, and that includes trains, trams, and buses that traverse their city. And I wonder what kind of rube is like buying a ticket February 27th or something like that. It's like at that point, it's like if I hop the turnstile or whatever, or if I get caught, I'm sure they don't have turnstiles in Luxembourg. If I get caught riding without a ticket, are they really going to give me a ticket? Who knows? But yeah, I think that's great, and I think people will probably be like, well, it's such a tiny country, it's easy to do. But there's also so many countries that are in like cities that seem to like lose money, especially in the U.S. off of their public transportation system. So it's like, I mean, if you're going to lose money, figure something out here. And their trains look cool too.
Right. Yeah, they do. They do, for sure. Well, my shout out for us today, Jared, goes out to the Philippines, because in the Philippines, there's been a new law passed by Congress in the Philippines that students must plant at least 10 trees in order to graduate from, wait for it, elementary school, high school, and college. The initiative comes from a bill passed by the Philippine Congress earlier this month. The trees can be planted in either forests, mangroves, reserves, urban areas, abandoned mining sites, or this, I don't know how I feel about this one, if you don't live there, or in indigenous territory, according to the bill. Its goal is to help promote intergenerational responsibility for environmental protection. So I think that's really great.
I wonder how they check that.
I was thinking the same thing, buddy. I'm not sure. Maybe you have to take a selfie with the tree you planted. I have no idea.
As like the seeds are falling out of your hands. Or they're not seeds. Do they actually give you little trees? I always say seeds.
Probably. It doesn't say here. It really doesn't.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how. I'm really not sure how they do that. But hey, either way, it's awesome that the Philippines is pushing for this. I think it's great. So shout out to the Philippines.
Yeah, but not shout out to that one last part about where else you could put the tree.
Well, look, if you live on indigenous land and you want to plant trees there, I think that's fine. But yeah, you shouldn't be going into indigenous land and planting trees unless you have permission from the indigenous people.
Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe we don't know that. Maybe they said that because they did get permission. I don't know.
Right. Very well could be. I would imagine that in indigenous land, now I don't want to assume things because we all know, Jared, when you assume it makes an ass out of you and me. Since we're both on this podcast, if I make an ass out of myself, fortunately, I also make an ass out of Jared. But I'm going to go out on a limb.
That's for sure.
Or on a butt cheek right now and say it. I'm assuming that the indigenous people are probably okay with having trees planted on their land. I would assume so, just because at least what I know about indigenous people in the United States, it's all about conservation of nature. And so I could see how that would be there. But I don't want to put words in their mouth. Anyways, I do want to put some words in your mouth, Jared, with our next segment.
Wow. Are you flirting with me, Jared?
You better believe it. We'll be flirting more in our next episode, Jared. That'll be a different topic, that's for sure.
This is the untranslatable.
Today, we have some untranslatables. Yes, it is. And let me get us started today, Jared. My first one is Finnish, and it is Josta pakonmanenta jalkana, which means, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, run using a head as a third leg.
Wait, what language did you say that was again?
Finnish.
Okay. Run using a head like it's a third leg?
Uh-huh.
Run using your head like it's your third leg. Is that just
run using a head as a third leg?
Oh, okay. Does that just means give it everything you got?
Not quite. When would you need to run so fast you would need a third leg?
Oh, like if you're being chased or something.
Nope.
That's if you're if you're in a race, you mean?
Nope.
All right, I don't know. I don't like this game anymore.
If you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, how did I
get
not think
somewhere
of that
quickly? Right, I'm wondering the same. I wasn't going to say it, but yeah, if you're in a hurry.
All right. My first one is Croatian. Vrane sumu popile mozak. Cows have drunk his brain.
So is that just like he's crazy? He's stupid?
All right. You got it right the first time. He's crazy.
He's crazy. That makes sense. I don't know why the cows would be drinking his brain, but hey.
Yeah, why cows specifically?
Right.
And can you drink a brain?
Well, maybe he's got no brains and it's like brain soup. I don't know. That's it.
Oh, yeah. Or
asking
it's like
the
mush.
big questions, Jared. Yeah, exactly. All right. My next two for us tonight or today or whenever you happen to be listening to this are Chinese. And this one is, hold up, let me zoom in a little bit so I can see the pinyin, which is like which tone it is. So here we go. Ku xiao bu de, which means didn't know whether to laugh or cry.
Okay. Is this like you don't know how to like take it? Like you don't know how to you don't know what to think of a situation, essentially.
Yes.
Or it's like you don't like, or like if something. Or let me put it this way: something terrible happens to you, and like you're just like I don't even know if I should like or super unlucky or something. You're like I don't even know if I should laugh or cry about this.
Oh, you're so close, Jared. You were even closer to the first thing you said. First thing you said was
something terrible happens.
Right, something terrible happens, or even something terrible but kind of funny. And how would you describe that situation, Jared?
Now that winter's coming, would it be like if you witness someone slipping on ice, maybe, and you can't help but laugh at them, but you also feel like you also know you should probably go up and ask if they're okay, but you always end up laughing
so
first.
how would you describe that situation? Let's say that is an blank situation.
I don't know. A shitty situation.
An awkward situation.
Oh.
Awkward. It's when you're in an awkward situation when it's like something both funny and embarrassing.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Yeah. You know, I try not to use awkward too much because that's what, the kids love to use. And that was so awkward. It's not awkward. No, I don't know. Right. I use awkward all the time. I'm just kidding. My next one is French, and it's arriver comme un chevaux sur la soupe. And it means to
something
arrive.
Something about with and something about a soup. Okay.
Yeah, to arrive, not with, like a hair in the soup. To arrive like a hair in the soup.
Oh, that already, I think I already know what this means. If it is what it sounds like, to arrive like a hair in soup, it's like you arrive in a very like bashful, non-elegant way. You show up.
I'll give it to you. The worst possible timing.
Yeah. Okay, worst possible.
It's kind of like in those movies where it'll be like it's like, oh my god, forget about Chad. He's an idiot. He can't do anything. I'm surprised he's even still alive. And then there's someone like, no, I'm gonna say it. No, he's ugly too. and they're like, oh no, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Right behind you. Yeah, exactly. And I'm just staring at you like, yeah, go on.
No, I'm gonna say
Continue.
it. And I don't care if he hears it.
No, even better is like, I'm gonna say it. And I'm just like, say what? Say what? And you turn around. It's like, no, go ahead. Say it. Come on.
Man.
Say
we
it.
should write a sitcom together, Chad.
We should.
Oh man. No.
New spin-off from the Untranslatable
He's right behind
podcast.
me, isn't he?
I feel like you could take half of these, not even half, you could take all these untranslatables and have them be a plot to a sitcom. No problem.
Oh, yeah. Dude, shut up.
That would be...
Shut up. Hold on, I'm cutting this out.
That's right, yeah. Just don't want somebody else to make this sitcom and get rich. All right, my next one, though, for you, Jared, is also Chinese.
Going to take it and
you know what? I feel like she would be a good co-star on the show. I'd be okay with that.
Oh yeah,
I would be totally cool.
Well,
with that.
Yeah. I mean, no one's gonna listen to us anyway. We need someone with some clout.
That's true. That's true. Good point. All right, Jared. My next one is Chinese for you, and it is Fang Zai Yan Li, which means to put in one's eyes.
Is it like to try to convince someone of something?
Nope. Like
to like lie to someone,
like, you know.
Oh wait, that's kind of the same thing.
So say you know, you go visit your family for Thanksgiving, right? And you know, your family's talking to you, but you know, our Instagram page has just been popping, and you've been looking at all the new followers and notifications, and then your mom just goes, you know, Jared just isn't putting you in his eyes right now.
He's just not prioritizing you, or he's not thinking about you,
or paying
attention to you.
There we go. Yeah, to not pay attention to something. And this one is usually used in the negative. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right, I got one more, I guess. Why not? Also French. Casser de sucre sur le dos de quelqu'un. To break sugar on somebody's back.
Is that like a backhanded compliment?
No, but you're close. And think about my last untranslatable.
Is it a light insult?
Think about my last untranslatable. We had a whole sitcom based off of
bad time.
We had a whole sitcom based off of this. And then to break sugar on someone's back. No, I'm going to say it. He's a piece of crap.
So to tell the truth.
No, it's to badmouth someone behind their back.
Ah, okay. Badmouth. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You know what?
You know what else is interesting, Jared? The different apps that you need in the United States. So let's talk about it.
No. Mine was better. We're going to... Hold on.
Okay,
you know what's a great way to badmouth people behind their back?
That is way better.
Apps.
That's right. You better believe it.
So I was thinking about the apps that I use in my day-to-day life, but then also I'm sort of I'm not a peak app user. So I also thought about the apps that I hear about a lot, the apps that sometimes I wonder why people do use.
Okay.
I'm just going to start going through the ones that I use the most. Messaging apps. And now here in the U.S., now you are an international person, and I'm sure you would agree that one of the top international messaging apps is probably what? WhatsApp? That's probably one of the go-to for international conversation having.
Yes, I would say WhatsApp, and number 2 internationally, at least in Asia, obviously is WeChat. But yeah.
Right. This is the U.S. episode, Chad, so please.
The episode, you better believe it. So in the U.S., I would say the 2 bigger ones are, I think a lot of people in the U.S. message on Facebook Messenger, and I think a lot of people also use Twitter to message people and tweet at people, and Instagram.
I would say social media in general. Yeah, the top 3 social medias here are really Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and there's a lot of DMing happening. We don't really, and then there's also, other than that, iMessage is huge. So people that have iPhones, love their blue messages and get very offended by the green that shows up. I don't know what people with.
Also, Jared,
I don't know.
Let me stop you real quick.
Okay,
sorry. I just want to mention that DMing, for our listeners out there who are international, if you've never heard that term before, DM stands for direct message. You also might hear some people say PM me, and that means private message.
PMing is more of the international term, though, I would say. DMing...
And the Facebook term.
Really? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Facebook can go somewhere. Another untranslatable... for all of our international students out there, if you ever hear people say sliding into the DMs, that's real popular here. Yeah. I don't know how popular it is abroad, but here in the U.S., that's a very popular term for talking to someone in their DMs. Usually, it's a flirtatious sort of thing, or at least someone you don't know that well. Like I wouldn't really slide into Chad's DMs because we talk every day.
You do. You do. You're always sliding into my
Except
DMs.
for when I ask you for pictures.
Right.
I actually do ask you for a lot of pictures.
We're not going to talk about what kind of pictures those are on the podcast either.
So I would say that messaging apps, I think because here in the U.S., we don't have as big of a concern with a bunch of whole different international phone numbers. Even if you're in Germany and say you have a friend in the Netherlands or a friend in France, you have to deal with different country codes and all that stuff. In the U.S., we don't have that problem, and so we don't really we're not as concerned about the secondary or the other apps, I would say, for messaging.
And I think another main reason why we don't have or use messaging apps to the same frequency as people in Europe and Asia is because I remember years ago, unlimited texting just became kind of the norm as well. So you could just send so many text messages. And here, even in China, they don't have unlimited texting.
Oh, so that became the thing, I think, here before it became a thing, at least abroad. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Jared, when I was in the Czech Republic last year, I even didn't have unlimited texting. I had a certain number of SMS because most people there just use WhatsApp.
Right.
And that's just how it is. You use WhatsApp, you use Facebook Messenger, you use Instagram Messenger, you use something over internet. So now I think it's much more important with most cell phone carriers what your data plan is and not how many text messages you get.
I mean, I probably even though I have an unlimited texting plan right now, I'm sure I do. Mm-hmm. I probably almost never text. Most of my friends have iPhones. And even though it's all just through the normal texting app, that iMessage is not. It's all through. It's not a text message. It's through internet too. It's similar to a WhatsApp in the way that it's sent. So
right.
So I probably don't send over a couple hundred texts a month because
they're all iMessage.
Yeah. But I remember when I first moved back from Germany to the U.S. It was 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2008, in the summer of 2008, and I was in 10th grade, or excuse me, I was in 11th grade, going into 11th grade, but it was the summer, so between 10th and 11th grade, and my first cell phone plan, I just had a normal sort of brick phone of some sort. My parents were, I had unlimited, or excuse me, I had a couple hundred texts a month, and within 2 or 3 months of having that, I switched to unlimited because my parents were like, "This is ridiculous."
Right.
And the price difference was not even that big of a deal. Anyway, so that's messaging apps. Let's move on.
Mm-hmm. You need Uber or Lyft for sure. Some type of rideshare app.
You took the word. I have them listed here. The second on my list is ride sharing. But I'll say this: since I've been in Michigan, I've only used ride sharing once, and I used it to go buy a car. So, so essentially, I've never really used it.
You are very lucky that you're within walking distance to a lot of establishments or watering holes where you can have a couple drinks and walk home.
But I still do have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
When I was in East Lansing,
right.
I mean, you could walk from the bars, but usually it was just quicker and easier and not that expensive to just take an Uber. I mean, well, Dexter, Uber isn't really a big thing.
But if you were in Ann Arbor and you wanted to go home,
right,
that was sort of your only option.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, I still do have. Obviously, I still do. I don't use Uber. I use Lyft only. But I always have Lyft on my phone because
for sure.
I still travel, even when I travel throughout the U.S. There are places I go where I use Lyft all the time. And when I was in Philadelphia, I used it all the time because it just wasn't. When I'm here, I have a partner that I live with, and she never really drinks more than a drink or two anyway. So I kind of always have a DD at the worst case scenario.
Nice, nice. There you go.
So I never really concern myself with that, but also. It's just not as convenient here, and so I just sort of work around it. Even if I know I am going to be driving, I'm just like, well, I'll just drink less. I'll drink accordingly, and I'll never have more than like a drink or two myself because it's just not worth it. I just adjust the way I go out, really, is what I do more.
Sure.
But within the sort of ride sharing, I put it into more of a mobility thing because I also I live or die by Google Maps, but I would say even more important than Google Maps here for me sometimes is Waze. Because as a driver, I drive a lot here in Michigan rather than being in, or even in Philadelphia, I use Waze a lot. But that tells you where police are, which is very helpful. So you can not get speeding tickets unnecessarily.
I didn't know that about Waze. That's awesome. That's really good to know.
Are you kidding me? Your lack of technological acumen blows my mind. Yeah, dude. It pops up with little police icons. Like it says in 0.2 miles, a police car will be there. And it's not always right.
How is that legal?
Why is it illegal? How is it illegal? It's just saying there's a police car on the side of the road. But let me put... what it is it's crowdsourced. So you can just put, a hit, there's a police car and say it's on the side of the road. And I don't know how it's illegal. It gets people to follow the speed limit theoretically. But I've heard police people sometimes don't like it because some police people their main job is just to get speeding tickets because it's a form of income for the city. But
right.
But also it tells you about accidents on the side, or if there's even a car pulled over on the side of the road with a flat tire or something, people can put that stuff into. So it is useful for you to just generally sort of avoid, you'll know, maybe I should change lanes and not be in that lane because I know there's going to be a car pulled over coming up.
Right.
So stuff like that's useful too. It's safety stuff too, I would say.
Right.
So that's great for the US.
How exactly does Waze work? Do you just...
It's crowdsourced. So when you're passing it, there's a little quick hit section.
No. What I mean is, is it
it's owned by Google Maps
app or? Aha, I see.
It used to be its own thing.
Okay.
A couple years ago, but Google Maps bought it a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Google owns everything. This is how the world works nowadays. The world's owned by Jeff Bezos and Google, and that's how it all works. So I would say. Waze is good too. Chad uses Apple Maps. I have no idea how you are still using Apple Maps, but people seem to like it. I don't get it. But hey, more power to you.
Apple Maps.
Have you ever used a Bird, Lime, Lyft, Uber scooter? Have you used any of those mobility scooters?
I haven't tried those yet. Have you used one of them before?
I used a Bird scooter for the first time a couple months ago. There's free parking at casinos in Detroit, so I tend to, and also I have a plug-in hybrid, so there's free EV charging, so I tend to like to park there. But it is like a 10 to 15 minute walk usually from where I'm going. But because it's a giant casino, there's usually a bunch of scooters around. So for the first time, I used it a couple months ago to get to the bar or wherever I was going in Detroit. And unfortunately, it was raining, so it was a little dangerous. Those things are kind of fast, bro. They're legitimately fast.
Yes, they are.
I gave it full throttle, and I was like, "Whoa, this thing is!" And I almost slipped once or twice.
Do some skidding.
Dude, I almost fell off once or twice, and there was one time my girlfriend was behind me, and like in my I had a moment where I was like, "Whoo," and like I felt it in my, you have like that butterfly moment because you think you're about to die. Yeah. And my girlfriend's like, "You good up there?" I was like, "Oh, you saw that?" She's like, "Yeah, your back like flicked out because I went over a manhole cover, and so it was but they're fast. I can understand how people hurt themselves on them, but. Everyone has them. I see it. Like all the kids these days have them. Another popular app, especially in the U.S. nowadays, especially for drivers, is parking apps. So
dude, I'm learning so much this episode. I've only been out of the U.S. for 3 months, and I'm already learning so much.
I live in Ferndale.
Apps that I've never used.
I live in Ferndale, and so annoyingly, Ferndale has their own parking app, which is so dumb. It's so dumb for them to have their own proprietary parking app because Royal Oak, which is right down the street, also uses a parking app, but theirs is Park Mobile.
Different
Park Mobile
apps.
is used by a lot of cities, so that's more common. Okay. So get Park Mobile, I would say, be the first one to get. Just don't come to Ferndale.
Don't visit Jared, people.
But it is convenient because... you can just street park and you type in your car information and then you can put in the duration. And then you can also re-up it. So if you're out somewhere and you realize that you didn't put in enough time, while you don't have to go back and put in more coins, you can just put in more time from the app. So that's nice. And it'll notify you when it's like 5 minutes left or 2 minutes left or whatever. And so that's nice. And those are, I would say, my main mobility-related apps that I use.
Okay.
I say
rideshare, a map, and a parking app? Yeah.
But I have a adjacent to the mobility apps. Yes. But this is a different category. I would say delivery apps. So you when you were in East Lansing, did you ever get food delivered to you?
Yes.
What would be your go-to sources for getting food delivered to you? You probably call. Okay.
No, GrubHub. Okay. GrubHub. I love GrubHub. A lot of times, like there would be some deals and stuff on GrubHub, so that's why I used GrubHub.
Yeah. I'm a GrubHub user too. There was now I wish this one just came into my head. I think it's called Caviar. There was one I heard of that was like fancy restaurants in Philadelphia, which I thought was an interesting idea, but fancy food doesn't deliver well because whenever food is covered, it tends to kind of sog it up a little bit. So you're paying a lot for food and it's ruining the quality of it. And it's like, is it even worth it to pay this much if it's just going to be just normal, like Olive Garden quality by the time this fancy pasta gets to me?
Hey, whoa. Watch yourself, buddy. Olive Garden is delicious.
My boss is Italian. And straight up actually Italian, from accent and all, from Italy.
From Italy.
And accent and all. And he always jokes about how Olive Garden has Tuscan hummus. And he's like, we don't have hummus. He's like, I've never heard of a Tuscan hummus before. And he always used to joke about getting authentic. I say that like we were old buddies. He always jokes about getting a Tuscan hummus, authentic Tuscan hummus from Olive Garden. There's also DoorDash, which people use. Uber Eats, Seamless, Postmates, DoorDash. Have you ever used any of these? I think Postmates is one of these. These delivery services where people can just get anything delivered to you?
I haven't. No.
Like people, like there's, I believe it's Postmates. I've never done it either, but where you can like just go to any sort of store, like they do, like you can do that
in China. Yeah.
Yeah. That I don't really understand the benefit of that. I'm going to be honest with you. I guess it's just for lazy people. I guess.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I will tell you, being in China, the convenience is super nice. Super nice. But yeah.
And it's good for you, though. I understand for you as someone that is abroad, like, and doesn't understand, like, also has language barriers.
Right.
But these people are going to store.
For me, acts as a crutch, which I think is also not good. I don't have to leave my apartment.
For sure. It's a crutch for people here in the U.S., too.
Right. Another food app, though, Jared, it's not a delivery app, but I think a very useful food app that I used all the time in the U.S. was Hooked. Do you know what Hooked is?
No.
And here you are shitting on me on my technological prowess, Jared.
Okay.
Shame on you. Hooked is an app where it's based on your location.
Chad knows one app that I don't know, and he's
that's right.
And all of a sudden,
I'm going to run with it, Jared.
All of a sudden, you're so high and mighty.
That's right. That's right. But so the way Hooked works, Jared, is there's like a deal, and you click the there's like a little hook, like a fish hook. You click the hook, you go into the restaurant or eating establishment, if you will. And then you show them your phone, and then you get, 20% off on, there was this really good place called Tabbouleh by my apartment in East Lansing. They would have a deal almost every day. I went there 3 times a week.
That place sounds like a place that would have falafel, and I love falafel.
They do. They do. Okay. They have falafel. They had really good wraps, really good rice bowls with.
I had falafel yesterday for dinner.
Oh, nice.
And a chicken
Hooked
shawarma
is also
sandwich.
a really good one.
Well, I'm glad you brought up
so
Hooked.
Tasty.
Have you heard of Honey, which is not an app, but Honey's great. Honey, if you have Google Chrome, you can get a extension, I think they call it, or an app thing through Google Chrome called Honey. And if you go to any website where you can check out and buy stuff,
it gives you deals, right?
It runs through it searches the internet for all the deals, and it'll pop and say hey, here's a 15% off deal for whatever you're about to check out on. Do you want us to apply this? So that's not an app. That's just a recommendation for people to get on their computers.
Right.
Okay. So social media apps. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but there's obviously way more to this than just the messaging aspect of it.
Sure.
What's your go-to? What's your go-to social media app when you're in the United States? Now, obviously, your go-to social media app is WeChat, Taobao.
In China, yep.
And
Taobao's not social media, but
Weibo, excuse me, that's what I meant to say.
Right. I don't actually use Weibo.
I know. But, I'm just saying you're
just rattling them off. I appreciate it. And check out episode 150 if you're curious about some of these Chinese apps that Jared's mentioned.
Our last episode.
That's right. That's right. We might have to just make the episode a series.
Well,
talk about some other interesting apps in the future. It's a good idea. Anyways, I would say my go-to in the States is social media. Number 2 is Instagram. Instagram,
wait, hold on. Your number 1 is what? You said your number 1 is social media.
Facebook.
Oh, okay.
My number 1 social media is Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 is Instagram. But both of those, honestly, man, a lot of them are for memes and for sending messages. That's about it.
My number 1, I would probably say, is Twitter, and it's mostly for comedians, and I also like to see car journalists. And my Instagram
Who are some car journalists you really like?
I like Matt Farah. I like Steve Ewing is his name, like the basketball player. I like Zach Clapman. I like Chris Harris. I like now it's hard that I'm on the spot. I like it is very tough I like Andrew Golson is his name. I like Alex Roy. There's a bunch. And then Instagram is also, obviously, as a car person, Instagram is all about the cars and the comedy stuff too. So a lot of memes or just comedians that put up funny stuff too. Or also actually, I'm not really I just look at my Instagram. I'm not one of those do you have hot chicks on your Instagram?
It's funny you mentioned that, Jared. So I already realized I follow too many people on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Not that it really matters. A lot of them are guitar pages, but I had a lot of from my senior year in college. I had a lot of bodybuilding pages, and I had a lot of hot chick pages.
Yeah,
I purged almost all the bodybuilding pages and all the hot chick pages.
It gets old.
Felt weird because the hot chick pages, it's they'll have 20,000 likes, and it's just here's a picture of this hot chick's ass, and I'm just this is not the content I want to see anymore. It's just not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like memes. I like guitar stuff. I like language stuff. I like pretty pictures of people traveling places.
I have
cool
travel stuff too
in Europe.
That's also a kind of a convenient thing about having our podcast Instagram too, especially since you don't really use it, is I kind of curate, like I have like 2 separate like experiences. So like if I want to look at more like travel, maybe music related stuff, I'll go to our podcast one, or like language memes, or if I want to go to like more cars and comedy, I'll go to my personal one. Right. Yeah. But that's, I guess, the benefit of having a podcast. Start a podcast. But Twitter's really my number one, I would say. Also, I'm starting to get more into Reddit. You know, I used to think Reddit was just degenerates. A lot of degenerates on Reddit, but it's very easy to avoid it. Super easy to avoid degenerates. Though, Jared.
Let's be honest. There's degenerates everywhere in the internet. I don't care where you go.
Sometimes me and my sometimes me and my girlfriend like to play a game where we'll type in random keywords and find like the not safe for work things that come up about it.
Okay.
So we found a whole page about anklets.
What are like
people that were into like hot ankles and anklets.
Oh, anklets. And, that's a thing?
Yeah, dude. There's like an anklet.
Were there like not pictures of ankles? Like what?
There's like people wearing anklets. Yeah, dude. Anklets.
What is an anklet though? Is it just like an
It's like an ankle bracelet. Ankle what do you mean? Yeah, you've never heard of anklets?
God, okay. Apparently not, Jared. I've been looking at different places on Reddit than you and your girlfriend, apparently. Oh, that's hilarious. First of all, though, explain to me, how are anklets not safe for work?
I don't know.
It's a picture of someone's ankle with a bracelet on.
Well, sometimes there were a couple. Okay. Now, this podcast is about to be not safe for work. There were a couple where, say, a lady would be lying down. I don't know why I need to act it out. A lady would be...
Act it out, Jared.
I'm like, well, I can't do it and still be in the mic. No. A lady was, like, lying down on a bed. You know, like, a leg was up, sort of like that.
Okay.
And,
ooh, those are cool shoes.
Oh, thanks. These are my house shoes because I would never really wear these in public.
Dude, those are tight.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Oh, I could just also these are my house shoes. I call them my chancletas. When did you get those? I've had them. I've had them forever.
Okay.
But yeah.
Anyway, so they had their leg up and their anklet was on their leg,
and they're like, you know, in the nude or in some lingerie or something. Okay. But you could like see the anklet. But there's also just a lot of close-ups of ankles. Listen, this was a long time ago. I didn't look that deeply into it. But anyway, Reddit is also very. It's very like curatable to avoid the ankle stuff, and I'm starting to enjoy it. Like I enjoy stuff like Hold My Beer or like Top Talent kind of stuff, or like Insta Karma stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It's a revenge page is really good too. That one's got some crazy stories.
Instant Target. There's this. Oh my god, this is terrible. Okay. There's this one where there was a. Oh, this is terrible. So it's stopping. It's like how to stop a suicide, and there was literally someone at the edge of their like a balcony, about to like sitting on the edge of their balcony in their apartment, and a guy is like harnessed in the apartment above, and he swings in and kicks the guy back into his apartment.
Yeah,
you've seen that before?
I have. Yeah.
Jeez, I'm talking to you are a meme professional. I will give you that. And LinkedIn. I'm actually starting to look at LinkedIn more. The only thing I don't like about LinkedIn is people know when you look at their profile. You can't creep on LinkedIn.
Only if they have the premium one, right?
But I don't have premium anymore, and I could still see when people. I paid for premium for like while I was unemployed and looking for a job, but I stopped paying for it.
Is that how you found your job?
Through LinkedIn?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Because I was looking at a whole bunch of different job posting sites. So I don't remember if that specifically was where I found that job posting. But like I looked at a whole bunch of different, all this different places where people post jobs. Okay, we're getting off topic here, talking about ankles, and here are some other miscellaneous must-have apps that I have. YouTube.
Yep. Miss it dearly.
People obviously have Netflix. I have Netflix on my phone. I've never used it. I have Fox Sports on my phone and ESPN. I haven't used it in a long time, but it is nice sometimes. Like during the World Cup, I'll watch the World Cup at work, and that's nice.
Sure.
Spotify, I never really use it. I mostly just have. But obviously, a lot of people do. Amazon.
I love Spotify.
I hate that I have it on my phone because it's way too easy to buy stuff.
It's dangerous. Yep. One click buy, man, and then too easy.
There are two money related apps. Well, a couple money related apps. Whatever bank you have has an app. Get it. Makes it very easy to do your banking. Venmo and or Cash App. I started with Cash App, but everyone uses Venmo, so I have Venmo too. But I used to use Cash App back in the day with Don when we lived in Royal Oak, like to split utilities and rent and stuff. Right. I have a translator. Most Americans probably don't, but I do. I just use the Google Translator. And podcast app as well. That's a must-have for sure.
Let me look through my phone real quick and see if there's anything that you're missing. I think you've covered all the bases, Jared, but let me.
I also have boring like adult stuff, like my internet account. You know, like my Wi-Fi account kind of stuff.
Oh, I got one for you. I think it's good to have a search engine app. Like I have the Google app. On my phone, you just say,
I just use Google Chrome,
and it works.
I don't like that. I don't want to talk to my phone. I have just Google Chrome, and I just open Google Chrome. That. But people do have you're right. People do have that. That's fair. I'm just, Ooh,
another I think must-have app in the States, and actually this app works in China as well, by the way, is Shazam. If you're out and about and you hear a song, I love Shazam.
You know your Siri just does that. If you just say, Siri, what song is this? Siri
really?
Oh, my God.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
if you just say, Siri, what song is this? What I'll do, at a restaurant, I'll just hold, I don't say, you can just say, Siri, what song is this? And it'll tell you. I think maybe, I don't know if there's some sort of relationship if they're using Shazam, but it does the same thing.
Right. Okay, that's fair. Another app, though, too, that I would suggest, if you don't have an iPhone, get some type of weather app. There's a weather app already on the iPhone's hard drive or hardware.
I always wonder how good the weather app on the iPhone is. It's like I use it obviously, but I'm like, I wish it. No, and it's not. I wonder how good it is. I wish it could give more information. You can't get. You can't. It doesn't really give you the amount of information I would like. I feel like here in China, though, it's been fairly accurate. I know what you mean, though. Not in an accuracy sense. I just wish you could like click on a day, and maybe I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm not a freaking meteorologist.
You're right. You can't. That's kind of lame.
If you scroll to the very bottom, it gives you a little bit more information, which I guess that's fine.
Right.
I guess that's fine.
But you still can't click on the day. You're right. Weird. Interesting. I didn't know that. Learning all sorts of new stuff today, Jared.
Those are my apps. Those are the apps. I think those are the must-have US apps right there, and I enjoyed that episode. Do you have any other you want to say? Sorry, I'm just cutting it off.
Let me ask you, what about dating apps? Are there any go-to dating apps when you were single and ready to mingle?
How dare you? I'm in a relationship. I mean, the top ones are obviously Tinder and Bumble. Those are the Tinder is the original, really, the original swipe app. Bumble, I think, is just as big these days, though. I remember because there was a moment when, like back in the day when Tinder, was like the straight up hookup, had like the hookup stereotype to it, and Bumble was like the classier one.
Right.
But I think Bumble's moved more towards Tinder these days, and now things like there's weird ones like a Hinge is one. I've never used it before. I've just heard of it. There's other ones that I
there's all sorts of other ones. Yeah.
Coffee Meets Bagels. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yep.
That's one too. And so I think now, there are a whole bunch of them. Yeah. But I think Bumble now is. I feel like it's just in the same category as Tinder these days.
Could be.
Except obviously the girl has to talk to you first.
Right. So good luck with that, gents out there. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, Jared, I think we should talk about our song of the pod today, which is quite a banger. You and I by, I believe it's pronounced Ailey. And Ailey is an artist from Korea. And when we were listening to it earlier today, Jared exclaimed what I would 100% agree with. In a way, she kind of sounds like a Korean Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
And how would you describe this song to our listeners today, Jared?
Very Christina Aguilera-esque. There's a lot of horns, a lot of dancing. She has very good dance moves. And it's like it's just like what I don't know what genre that is, but she's just got a strong singing voice, and it's just like yeah. I mean, that's really that's the genre I'd put it in, Christina Aguilera.
Right. Yeah, I guess it would be kind of like pop. But
yeah, like
at
a pop
the same
singer.
Time, yeah. Yeah, it's great though. I mean, it has awesome horn section, really good energy. I wish I could talk more about the lyrics, but they're in Korean, so I'm not
Some
really
are in
sure.
English, though. She says a couple lines in English.
That is true. That is true.
Which I think is a nice touch.
It is a bumping song. Yeah, it is. It's really cool. So check that out. I want to give a shout out to a very special someone for showing me that song.
You're
that's
welcome.
where that song came from. That's right. It was Jared, because I didn't send him the song. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a good one. It really is. It has really high energy. It's a great one if you are, if you're feeling a little down, put this one on. I don't know if you could feel down after listening to those horns and that beat and everything. If you're getting up and you have a long day ahead of you, definitely blast this one while you're in the shower. Learn some Korean and sing along with it, and I'm sure you'll be feeling great. So check that out. You
Betcha.
by Ailey. It's a good one. Well, Jared, now speaking of foreign languages, although this is not Korean, it is an Asian language, and I'm going to share with you my Chinese word of the pod today, which is yo yong, and yo yong means useful.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. My Spanish word of the pod is melenario. Melenaria.
Which means?
O or A, depending on millennial.
Oh, that makes sense.
Millennials love apps.
Makes sense, Jared. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Apparently, my boomer dad loves Pinterest. So there you go. Everybody loves apps, Jared. But millennials, I think, probably use them the most. Although, what's the younger generation now? Is that generation Gen Z?
Yeah.
I think they're going to be even heavier app users than we will be.
Have you ever used... Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think they're going to be heavier app users because I just know so many kids that grew up with like iPads and tablets in their hands.
Yes.
So I think they'll be even heavier. But yeah, anyways, what were you going to say, Jared?
Have you ever used TikTok?
I have not. I was a huge fan of Vine back in the day when Vine was a thing.
I'm downloading TikTok right now.
Oh, nice. There we go.
Because I've been hearing about it. I need to figure it out.
TikTok channel. Untranslatable Owl.
Isn't that what they do?
TikTok,
like different dances or like
I think so.
And like sing-alongs. I'm Jared. And I pass it to you through Skype. That'll be our first.
Yeah, oh god.
That'll be our first
TikTok. If we make them cringeworthy enough, they might make an appearance on your mom's house.
Yeah, I would love to be made fun of ruthlessly by two brutal comedians.
Look, if Tom Segura and Christina P. roasted me, I'd be okay with it. Roast
and they make insane people legitimately famous.
They do.
Like that Try It Out guy. Have you seen what they've done with that guy? They went to his house. And they had
Did they really?
One of their producers stayed over at his house and they did a funny documentary about him.
Oh, that's hilarious. We might be a little too normal for them. Maybe.
Well,
I mean, granted,
we can step it up on
they could
TikTok.
still roast the shit out of us for sure, without a doubt.
That's true. We can also step it up on TikTok though.
That is true. Oh man, good old TikTok. Good old TikTok.
Wait, do you watch? Do you know they have a whole TikTok segment right now? You don't even watch their show.
Of course I do.
Oh, okay.
Of course I do.
I was going to say I don't know if you want to. I don't know
on there. I definitely watch it.
I don't know if we want to be in their TikTok segment though.
Maybe not. Probably not. You're right. That's a good point. I would still be flattered though. Like Tom Segura and Christina P. Both of them are my favorite comedians. So I would be okay with it.
I love them too, but that's a rough segment to be to be made fun of in.
You gotta grow a thick skin, Jared. Gotta grow some thick skin.
Okay.
What can I say?
I don't even want to talk about it here. It's so terrible.
That's fair. That's fair. But anyways, I mean, there are so many useful apps out there. I would agree with you, though, Jared, that you need some type of messaging app, a social media app, some type of mapping app for sure. I'm an Apple Maps guy. Jared's a Google Maps guy and a Waze guy when he drives. I'm definitely going to use Waze, though, when I'm back in the States.
Yes.
Driving around for sure. What other apps did we mention? Some type of money app is very important with your bank. Also, some type of app like Venmo or the Cash App where you can exchange money. Here in China, we just use WeChat. Check out episode 150.
I think you can do it through Facebook, too.
Probably. I don't know if I trust Facebook for that.
I don't want to do it either. Sure. I don't know why we trust Venmo, though. Facebook probably owns Venmo. Delivery apps and rideshare apps as well.
Exactly. So check those out. And parking apps. Right. Exactly. So check those out. If you have any questions about those apps, let us know at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. We're happy to answer any questions. This one's going to be more on Jared because he uses those. I am definitely removed from the U.S. apps since this is my second year abroad. Although I did use Uber in Prague quite a bit. But I don't think Uber exists here in China, and Didi works great. I did, yeah. Times they are changing, though, Jared, here in China. That's for sure. But hey, China has all the equivalents, some better, some worse. And if you're curious about those, you can check out episode 150. And let us know, though, untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com if you have questions. Check out our Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, for clips and pics of our travels and other stuff. And lastly, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. And we will definitely do that. And also send us some untranslatables or topic ideas, and we will shout you out on the show. So, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Yakuyeme, muchas gracias, and shishya.